All right, graveyard talkers. Well, here we are. We're inside a crypt. This is a crypt of Captain David C. McCann. David C. McCann was born up north in Ohio, I believe. Might be New York, but I think it's Ohio. Worked in his father's foundry and somehow ended up down here in New Orleans area where he become a prominent businessman in the foundries and passed away. And this is his mausoleum. I've taken refuge. I've hid in the mausoleum because it is raining out like crazy. Hoping it will stop so we can get a couple more in today. But inside here is a Kate Greenway, and I'm going to suspect from the dates, probably his daughter. I don't know that his wife is buried here. He's buried here in one of the side crypts, one of them here, down here. I would probably suspect up here. But Find a Grave says he's buried here. So we're going to do a little session inside here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he's wanting to talk to us. He was a philanthropist, and he was able to, he gave his money away to his friends. Somebody needed some money, he would loan it to him. Even one of his friends who died owed him $10,000, and he took the note that he was owed for $10,000, wrote on it, paid in full, and sent it back to the widow. So he was, by all accounts, seemed to be a pretty generous individual. So maybe he'll want to talk to us. Let's hope so. So let me get everything straightened up here, ready to go. And for those spirits in this part of the cemetery, for Kate and for Captain David, we are here in peace. We mean you no harm. I have two pieces of electronic equipment here. These are here so that I can talk to you or anyone else who would like to talk to us. So if you have anything that you would like to say, talk to me about, now is the time to do it. Again, my name is Randy, and we come in peace. Captain McCann, you came down here and opened up a foundry. You worked at the foundry with your father. What actually did you make at your foundry?
So that
And I'm going to assume that Kate McCann Greenlaw, you were the daughter of Captain David? Now, according to Find a Grave, he had other relatives, but I believe most of them had died by the time he had passed away. But it doesn't really show that they're buried here, so I don't know. I have some questions here. If y'all would like to give me a number, 1 through 18, I will look at the number and I will ask you that particular question that I have for spirits that I ask all over the country that I go. So, David or Kate, do you have a number for my questions? And 1 through 18, and I will read you that question, and hopefully you're able to answer it. Okay, so I heard no numbers. Let's try it again. Do you guys have a number for my questions, 1 through 18, that you would like me to read you the question so you can answer?
This. No. Forget about it. That. So yeah. Where else?
Okay. I did hear 3. I heard 3 come through. So let me get my soggy piece of paper that's rain soaked. And of course, it's never on the page that I'm looking at. Okay, question 3 is what I heard. Question 3. At one cemetery that I was at, I was told that Satan was standing in front of me. If the spirits were correct and Satan was standing in front of me, and I was warned that he was I in any real physical danger from Satan? No. All right, the first thing that came through was Granny. Granny has been following me around all over the place. I think she's like Mary Ellen. I think she's keeping a watch over me. Could be my own grandmother. I'm not sure yet. I'll know when I go to visit my grandmother this summer. But I heard, yes, that I could have been in danger. So let's try it again. Was I in really any serious danger when one of the spirits told me that Satan was standing in front of me? I heard a no.
This is one good steps.
So is Satan, can Satan steal a living person's soul?
No. From yeah, it's gonna to it.
I heard a couple of things in there. I heard yes, I heard no, but then I also heard from afar.
Remove it. Knuckles back. There's
So let's go a little bit further and let's say, what if a living being was to pledge their soul to the devil? Would he be able to take it upon their death automatically?
that's what take it. To do
All right, and I did hear take it, but I'm not sure if there was anything else attached to that, whether he can't take it or he could take it. I'll put that up on the screen, but I did hear take it. Okay, so Kate and Captain David, is there anything else you would like to say before I reach out to any other spirits that are listening and would like to have something to say in this part of the cemetery? Okay, Kate, it sounded like it was you. Go ahead and say what you need to say.
No.
Kate, what relationship were you to Captain David?
I like it. Together.
Okay, were you a niece? Were you his daughter? Okay, and by the looks of it, how many, it doesn't look like there's moss growing on almost all the cracks in between the outer plate and the ledge here. So, Kate or Captain David, can you tell me when the last time somebody, the year maybe, or who the last time somebody was entombed here in your mausoleum? Let me restate, entombed in your crypt, your small mausoleum, I guess, in a crypt here.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. Can you give me a year? Can you give me a year and maybe the first name of the person, the last person who was buried here? Okay, I heard Elsa and Elsie. You know, just looking up at the top, this side here, the head plate, I can see there's no markings in it. This side here looks like there was some engraving in it, but I certainly can't read it. It's so faint. No, I rub my hands across it. It must be just from the stains over the years. I thought maybe there was something engraved. So who was Elsie? Who was Elsie? Captain David, Captain McCann, what was Elsie to you? Daughter. Elsie was a daughter. I have to look. There are some relatives listed. Maybe an Elsie is listed. Now, what you can't see here, let me actually move the camera so you can. Oops, sorry about that. See on the floor, there is a vase here, but there's also an access port, which looks to me like, you know, maybe Captain David, because he's not here, his wife's not here, maybe they're down here cremated and was put into this area. I don't know. But, okay, anybody else that's in this area who would like to reach out and have something to say before I move on to a different part of the cemetery? In the cemetery is a lot of Confederate Civil War soldiers. Please come through with your name so that I can call you out directly.
But I. What's that? Good for something.
Josiah, were you in the Confederate Army? I was. And Josiah, where were you? Where was your big campaign? Where were you? Where was your big campaign that you were present at?
Sound
All right, so I heard silo. Is that correct, Josiah? Silo? And Josiah, did you survive the Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard yes. And Josiah, what rank were you in the Confederate Army? I heard White House near Baltimore. Were you under the command of General Lee?
I'm not for the team. What you terrible.
All right, and can you tell me what your most memorable experience was while you were in the Confederate Army?
We did all those that was get up. Oh no! Let's get here. Yeah. Cool. Remember. Marvel. Oh, what? Sorry. No, just. Look. I'm sorry. Let's do that. Great.
Can you give me the city that you were from here in New Orleans?
Yeah. Just
Okay, I heard I forget, so maybe he doesn't remember. Well, we'll see. We'll go back and listen. I got about a minute left here. My time will be up. I want to thank Captain McCann and Kate for allowing me to use their mausoleum and crypt here, so that I'm out of the rain. It's still raining out there, but not like it was. So, does anyone else have anything else they'd like to say before I leave?
No. Done. No. You. I think. To do so.
All right, and as always, I'll do my best to get what you tell me, what you've put through to me, out on my little video that I'm making for you here, and get your story out. I heard a couple of interesting things there. One I can't repeat, but if I can, I'll put it up there. But I do appreciate everyone who has come through and talked to me. I'll let this run for about 30 seconds and then we'll call it a day. I want to thank everybody for coming through and talking to me. All right, Dr. David, Kate, Josiah, thank you all for talking to me, and I hope you have a very peaceful rest here in Metairie Cemetery.
Was family something? You're something of the desert.
All right. Goodbye, y'all. Goodbye. All right, so that's going to end it here for this part of the cemetery. I think I'm going to go across the street. There's another cemetery across the street. And there's a lot of famous people buried here. Al Copeland from the Popeyes chain, he's buried here. Sheriff Henry Lee's buried here. I believe Al Hurt is buried here somewhere. A lot of famous people, especially around New Orleans area, are buried here. I believe there's one or two actors that are buried here. A lot of generals from the Civil War. And it's just, I've been in the cemetery about 10 times now over the last 40 years. I really enjoy the cemetery. So if you ever get down to New Orleans, you really need to go to the Metairie Cemetery. You would be just amazed at what's here. And with that, that's another episode of Graveyard Talking. I do appreciate everybody who's been coming to the channel and subscribing and liking and putting comments in. It does help me. It lets me know that I'm not just out here doing it for, just so that I hear myself talk. And with that, we're going to close this visit out. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one.